All right, it's 6 o'clock, so we'd like to open the meeting. First thing is to announce that this meeting is being recorded by Area 58. Second, if you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So our first order of business tonight is going to be Mrs. Nolan's very last night as accountant, official accountant. She retires as of the 1st of July. And if you'd come up front, Sandy, please. The board would like to acknowledge you and appreciate you for all the work you've done. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You've never been shy before. And so it isn't much, but it's a plaque from the town of Halifax appreciating your many years of service and your wisdom and all of the great things that you've done for us, and wishing you the absolute best in your retirement.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Just to emphasize the point, we've had a hard time replacing Sandy, so I don't think she's replaceable anyway, but she's done a wonderful job for us and it's well-deserved retirement. Okay, I'm sorry about that. All right, so let's go, let's do the warrants and such now while we have a few minutes.
I move to affirm approval of the following commitments and warrants. Payroll warrant number 113 for $979,543.32. Payroll warrant number 114 for $309,354.70. Vendor warrant number 115 for $73,355.63. A withholding warrant number 116 for $102,850.28. Withholding warrant number 117 for $287,414.33. Ambulance commitments June 3, 2024 through June 9, 2024 for $32,737.80. Ambulance commitments 6/10/2024 through 6/16/2024 for $64,069.81.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Next.
I move to approve of the following warrant. Vendor warrant number 118 for $90,231.87.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. We have a Selectmen meeting minutes of May 7th, which is before Tom was on board.
Sure.
So I'll move that we approve the meeting minutes of May 7th.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Ambulance abatements, let's see. Can you do that, Tom?
Second.
Yep. Ambulance abatements for this number.
Ambulance abatements May 2024 for $160,185.63.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, so we still have a few minutes before we can get started. Which do you want to take up first? Rate of compensation for inspectors, maybe?
Sure. So the board previously had approved updates to the fee schedule for our building department. Bringing on our new building commissioner, one of the items that I had tasked him with was to review our current fee structures, like all of our departments, and also just a general overview of operations, where we are, do we align with like communities. One of the things that Mr. Bailey brought to my attention was currently we compensate our part-time inspectors, electrical, plumbing, and gas inspectors at the rate of 80%. So if you have a $100 permit, they get 80% of that, the town retains 20%. And what we realized was the town really isn't even covering our costs at that split, because we do the admin work, we're going to online permitting, there's a cost associated with that, and it's an incredibly high split toward the inspector. So based on this information and conversations that Mr. Bailey had with the existing individuals in the roles, we're presenting a change to 65%, which is much more in line with other communities. Still on the higher side, but fair to the individuals in the role. rather than the 80%. It also would allow us to retain the revenue we need to fund the operation.
Okay, so you want us to move that we change the percentage to 65% for the inspector fees, is that right?
For the inspector split, yes.
Okay. Any discussion from the board?
This was met with approval from the people who are doing the inspections, correct? They had no problem.
Correct.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we change the fee structure such that the inspectors will now receive 65% of the permit fees.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Still have a few minutes. How about we do a line item transfer?
Yes, so one line item transfer. This is from veteran benefits to retiree medical bills. You can see we're looking to transfer $3,462.86. This was accidentally closed out last fiscal year. You can, we don't have a ton of these, but this is for a retiree that was injured on duty. We reimburse them annually for their co-pays. So like this year was the amount of $121.
Okay. Any question, discussion? No. I'll make a motion that we approve the transfer of $3,462.86 from the veterans benefit to retiree medical bills.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Take care of that. Let's see. We do have a liquor license request, which we don't have anybody coming in for, so why don't we take that up? So we have a request from a organization called Tipsy Mermaid LLC for 3 different dates at Ravensbrook Farm Farmers Market, July 14th, August 11th, and September 9th. The police, fire, Board of Health have all signed off, and so they are asking now for a 1-day license. Questions, any comments from the board?
No, I wish them good weather.
Yeah, it's been pretty good, pretty well attended in the past for other things. So. All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the 1-day liquor license for Ravenbrook Farms, Tipsy Mermaid, or is it Tipsy Mermaid? Tipsy something.
It's a Tipsy Mermaid
yep.
at Ravenbrook.
LLC for the 3 days as just mentioned.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Anything we can do in 5 minutes?
Do you want to discuss the meeting locations?
Oh, we can talk about that, sure. Okay, so this is on the agenda for my suggestion, the meeting locations. So what we did last year, we did what we call road shows, which is tried to have selectmen's meetings in different places in town for 2 reasons. One, to get us out of the building, and the second, to kind of provide a little more exposure to certain groups. It worked well. The only problem is we don't have the facilities necessarily to do that in regular selectmen's meetings. So I'm making a proposal that the Board of Selectmen sponsor, for lack of a better word, some individual meetings of the various departments and committees and other parts of the town. So the recycling center comes to mind. Maybe the highway barn if they're interested, maybe the library again, council on aging, and it would be more of a I or we can all go together, or we can send one of us, or 2, or whatever. If we do send 2, we have to just publish it, that's all. And it would be, a 10-minute meeting at this particular place, say with the clerk's office, and we'd have some exposure on Area 58. I did talk to the Area 58 guy. He's very enthusiastic about it. He said they tried this years ago, and it worked, but we could do probably a better job with it. I plan to rely a lot on my associate here because he is a professional broadcaster, in case you didn't know that, and so has done this in the past. And I do think it would be an opportunity for people in town through YouTube or whatever this is published on to actually see what some of the folks in town do who they don't know. They don't know what the clerk's office do. They don't know necessarily what the recycling thing does. So that's my thought. But if the board is in agreement, what I'll try to do is just set up a schedule somehow with the various groups. I'll ask around to see if they're interested. I think they will be. And then move from there. So that's my
I think it's a great idea. I think kind of a look behind the curtain, and show people different parts of town they might not know even exist.
Yes.
I think it's a great idea.
And the exposure is good, yeah, I would agree.
Okay, good. So what I'll do is I'll try to get maybe a memo out under my name, perhaps, just to everybody in all the different departments in town, commissions, boards, whatever, and just ask them, to get in touch with us and try to set up some kind of an agenda. It may be done all in a day. It may be done over a couple of days. I don't know. We'll see.
Sure.
But that's the concept. Is really, I really think that a lot of folks that live in town don't know what necessarily everyone who works for them does, or who they are.
Sure.
And so this is an opportunity for some exposure.
No, I think it's a great idea, John.
All right. So we'll do that. Put that on the thing to do. So we got another minute. Is Mr. Jerome here by any chance? Mr. Jerome? Not yet.
Not yet.
Let's see.
What else can we do?
How about efforts on regionalization of town services? So here's another thought. I think we have done some of this already, obviously with the dispatch, and we're doing it now with the, or we will be doing it now with the conservation agent.
Bridgewater, right?
Yep. And so I did get an inquiry from Plimpton. They don't have an IT department, and we're wondering if maybe we could take a look at having some sort of joint or shared service going in that direction too. I don't know, Susan's not here exactly, but I'm not sure. I know you've talked to him.
I think we need to work on strengthening our existing IT infrastructure before we can take on additional towns, but it's definitely something to look at in the future once we have a better, a more stable IT.
Any other thoughts on local regionalization?
Well, I mean, I regularly speak with my counterparts in Plimpton and Kingston, and we, look at these things. We spoke about the conservation agent. I have a meeting with the Plimpton town administrator in mid-July to discuss if there's any areas for collaboration. We're collaborating with Bridgewater on a hybrid programming. Darlene Reagan, our Council on Aging Director, has previously spoken about this. So we're working with Bridgewater on that as well. So there's definitely areas for potential expansion. The county has expressed interest in potentially overseeing regionalization of certain items. Special education transportation is one item that we've discussed. Pond management was another item previously brought up to the board that the county is exploring. So we're certainly involved, and if there's a conversation to be had, we make sure that we're present in Halifax's representation. So we'll continue to explore those opportunities.
Okay. Really, that's the only purpose of putting it on, was just to have this conversation. So I think we just keep it up every so often and check up and see where we are. All right, I've got quarter past, and we have live entertainment permits from a Mr. Jerome, Jerome. He knew to be here, right?
I don't see him. He was supposed to be here, yeah.
You knew about the meeting?
He did.
Yeah.
We had scheduled a couple weeks ago. He had it last year. He was, been fine, please did sign off on it, so yeah. When's the date?
July 6th, before the next meeting.
We do have a contact number. I don't know if somebody can make a quick call.
You do, it's on, is it right there?
I'm on it.
right to voicemail.
All right, well, we'll hang on to it and see if he shows up later. I know we're going to defer on our discussion about staffing reporting, right?
Yes, we are. Labor
Town-
Council is still reviewing that, so it should be on next meeting.
So we'll hold off on that. We do have some policy issues. We can take those up now. So first one is policy on lighting of town property. Everybody see, everybody
I
seen
did.
this? Yep.
Cody did a nice job on that.
We can barely hear you guys, I'm sorry.
Oh, sure.
All right, so we're trying to do a policy on lighting of the town hall. Basically, this is just to make sure that we have a consistent policy, since we've gotten requests recently, this is something come up new, about changing the lights on the front of the building. The policy that's proposed would be, may be lit up in honor of Heritage and History Months declared by the federal government. All town applicable laws have to be filed. Requests have to come to the town administrator. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, I think. And at least it sets some sort of a standard so that we can we don't have to make arbitrary decisions, which is what I'm most concerned with. So, any comments from anyone?
No, I read it. I think it's very well put together, and I'd be comfortable adopting the policy.
Okay.
The only question I had was, is there any sort of timeline for submission of ideas before?
We didn't put that in there, but
No, I mean, it's a very defined list of items, so if it's not in one of the items on this, is no request beyond the scope will be considered.
So it would just be...
So it's pretty much just, state, federal, local holidays, and then those months recognized by the federal government, History and Heritage Month. So if we receive a request, we'll work to get it done in a timely manner.
yeah, again, we don't have a policy, so I think we need one.
Sure.
Just to, again, just so we're consistent, we don't want to be in a position of saying yes or no without any sort of rationale, right? So.
Yep.
All right, so I will move that we adopt the policy dated June 25th on lighting of the town hall. Is it town?
Town properties.
Town properties, yeah, lighting of town properties.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
I think Mr. Jerome just walked in.
Mr. Jerome is here somewhere?
Yeah.
Come on up front, please. Thank you. You can have a seat or up to the microphone, either way, but you've got a request in here for a live entertainment permit on July 6th?
Correct.
Okay, can you just give us an idea of what?
It's just an annual family cookout. We have a DJ or a live band, so we'd like to bring it to the attention of the town to get a permit. It's usually 50 to 75 people.
Nice.
And we know all the parking routines and all the usual stuff, so just an annual permit, I guess.
Okay, good. Well, it has to be, if you're going to have entertainment, that has to be done this way, so, okay, and you have plenty of parking all along the
Yes.
street there?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
No, I was just wondering about parking. If you got parking, we're good.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
parked to one side of the lane on Spring Street, and that'll leave enough room for
Cars to get through.
emergency vehicles or anything.
Great.
We always recommend you invite your neighbors, that way they don't complain.
That's it.
You're all more than welcome.
All right, I'll move that we approve the live entertainment permit. It's already been approved by the Police, Fire, and Board of Health.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Congratulations, good luck, have fun.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
That takes care of that. All right. Another policy question that we can deal with right now is the training policy report for boards and committees. Everybody seen this also? All right, any comments to start with? So the idea here is we very much appreciate volunteers, which runs the government. Our government in this town runs almost entirely on volunteer labor, citizens, people that are interested, and that's very much appreciated. However, I feel anyway that it does a disservice to the members on the committee to not provide them with sufficient introduction and training, particularly when you're talking about technical areas such as conservation, zoning, those types of things. And a finance committee to a degree, but it's a little bit different there. And so what the policy that's the draft policy here does is it does set forth training that has to be done by everyone, which would be open meeting and conflict of law. That's a state requirement anyway. And then in terms of conservation and the zoning board, we've identified some specific training material. And it's the point of the policy here is that if we're going to make this appointment, that those members on that committee will have to do the training. It's not an optional thing. Again, I don't want to punish anyone. I don't want to discourage anyone. On the other hand, we really should have at least some basic education on what it is they're doing, especially in these very technical areas. So that's what that's what this whole policy is about, and I think it's a great idea. So.
Yeah, I agree. People on these boards and committees, we can at least give them the tools, you know, so this kind of helps them do their jobs better for the town. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and having just been a newly elected person with no, political office background, I think even just the open meeting law stuff, I mean, basic training, it's not a pass-fail thing, it's just take the trainings and get through it. Certify that you've done the right work and done the right thing, I think it's a great idea. Can't hurt.
Okay. Excellent. Yep. Yeah, we've talked about this now for 2 years, and we finally got the policy in place, which is really good. All right, so I'll move that we adopt the training policy for boards and commissions dated June 25th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That's unanimous. All right.
We got 8 minutes.
Still have a few minutes, and I don't want to start too early since we can't. Okay. You want to do...
We have the form of government study.
Oh,
that's
good.
where
Yes, good point. Okay. All right. So the form of government study. So last meeting, we talked just very briefly about a possibility of establishing a government study committee. And I mean, you could call it anything you want to, but the whole purpose of it is to have a group, a committee dedicated to evaluating our current form of government and making recommendations for changes, if any. Maybe they don't think we need any, but at least we're looking into it. I think that it's time that the town of Halifax did evaluate this. There's some streamlining that could certainly be done. There's some bylaws changes that could probably be put in effect. And so that's what this is about. Council sent us a note earlier today, I think.
It's in your packet.
Yeah, about his recommendations.
It's here.
Yeah, I did read it. So, and I don't think we need to make a vote yet. I'd like just to think about it before next meeting, or Tom's not going to be here. You can let us know what you think. But I think the committee probably should be maybe 7 members. I think we have to be very thoughtful about the people we put on the committee. I think those people would be people that not only know a little bit about government, they know a little bit about Halifax, right? So they have to have some sort of a balance here, because it's a big project, a very big project. It's a lot of work, and to do it right is going to take people that understand where we are now and what the issues are that need to be addressed. Those are my thoughts about it.
Yeah, no, I agree there wholeheartedly. I think there's nothing wrong with taking a long, hard look at how we're set up here. And you're right, John. I do feel like a lot of the practices we have and a lot of the bylaws we have, need to be looked at. So I have no problem with at least kicking the tires on a government study just to see, what we're looking at. So do you want to?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying exploratory search can't hurt anything. So I mean, more options the better.
Okay. So maybe. Well, you're not going to be here the next meeting, so maybe the next meeting after that would be the first meeting in August. And in the interim, what I would recommend is if we could each start thinking about the participants in this group, if you have in mind people that you think would have both the experience and the knowledge and maybe be interested to sit on maybe a 7-member board. Because again, it's a really big job, and it's going to take people that are going to see it through, but also understand, how to get to different things.
Sure. Do you want to circle back maybe July 23rd?
Yeah,
That's our,
I think that's a good time.
Put it on July 23rd.
All right. Anything else that we can take up in the next 2 minutes?
4 more minutes.
Anything you want to
Yes,
say?
reappointments.
I can provide updates if you'd like.
Yeah. move on.
Okay. So regarding staffing in town operations, we have the fireworks event going on this Saturday, the 29th, from 5 to 10 p.m. Our online permitting will go live on July 1st. So really, again, I've said this before, but kudos to the team here. This is not an easy task to implement something like this, and the team here has really taken it and run with it, really headed by Caesar in our IT department, Ed Bailey, our building commissioner, and Caroline in our assessor's office. The three of them have worked vigorously to get this done, so I just really want to give them credit. We met today with the Municipal School Building Committee to start reviewing the proposals for the Council on Aging Owner's Project Manager. You've heard me mention before, this is the first step in that process. We're going to look to have the respondents into a future meeting to interview them and then identify a project manager to recommend to the Board of Selectmen for approval of a contract with, so that is great news. The Council on Aging is having a concert on the Green on July 2nd from 12 to 3, so we encourage people to attend to that. They'll be providing transportation if needed. Eva Chapman is a high school intern who's been working for the town. She's done an excellent job on several initiatives, one of them being a monthly newsletter that she's working to produce that spotlights, similar to what you had said, Mr. Bruno, but some of the departments, some of the projects that we have going on. So the first edition of that will be going out in July, and we'll have Eva in actually at the next meeting to give a little summary on that. As far as the MBTA action plan, we're still waiting word back from the state and training for boards and committees. You just had the policy that you adopted.
Very good.
Just a quick note on fireworks. It's always a great time, but I know folks are looking for help to clean up after. So if anybody's got kids that need community service hours, it's a great time, but I'll tell you, it makes a big mess. So there you go, sign them up. So if anybody knows anybody that can help out Sunday morning, many hands make light work, and spread the word so we can clean up. Again, it's a great time, it's a great night, but we want to make sure we leave it better than we found it. So that's my pitch for that.
Okay.
That's the line. Okay.
All we have left is reappointments.
Yeah.
After we get done with it.
Yes. Yep.
Get about 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Mr. Seelig is the official timekeeper.
That's it.
Board of
30,
Selectmen's office.
30 seconds. All right.
We're good.
We're good.
Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is a joint meeting with the Parks Commission regarding summer operations of the town beach and boat ramp. I think you folks have to open your own meeting first, so we can have this as a joint meeting.
Buttons on the bottom, Tom.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, we're going to be holding a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen, so I'll go ahead and open up the meeting at 6:30 for the Park Commissioners. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Okay, good. So I think, Mr. Schleif, you have a presentation that you want to talk about as an update from the meeting we had in March, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, nice and close, Mike.
First, I'd like to congratulate Tom, our new selectman, on a win and for joining the business of the town.
Thank you.
What we have up here, basically, I presented this to the town in March. We received this from Grady Engineering. We commissioned to do drawings of as-built down the park, so we can at least start looking at how we can upgrade it and repair it and then move on future-wise to add different amenities to it. So this is the first basis of doing it in order to start moving forward. So, in discussion we've gone since our last meeting, we've gone to the Conservation Commission, and we went through all the proposals we had that we wanted to do, and they suggested that everything we want to do down there, try to get it all in this once. Initially was putting a interceptor trench in the spillway. It's probably around a 50-foot buffer line, because right now we got a lot of runoff going down the hill, and there's a section of the east down there that's eroding away. So the solution for the engineers is to put an interceptor in the spillway in here. What we'd also like to do is once that is try to get out some of the root systems that are in the ground and try to level out this whole area to try to make it a level playing field. So you might get a ball or whatever right now, there's a lot of dips and it's kind of dangerous to even be using it if you want to play frisbee stuff. We're looking into that. Last year on the ATM, there was ADA compliance projects, and we've been talking to building manager, and so they've asked if we could maybe join up to put in some handicap parking along the new fence area and put a handicap pathway, nice pathway, so we can roll our wheelchairs up to the beach area. We have a couple picnic tables built. We're just ready to get into stain the tops and stuff, so we can get those down there. Those are in production. But that's a project we're trying to work with building and maintenance to work with us to upgrade the beach access for handicap. And that was a great idea. Okay. Yeah, the spillway along here. The interceptor trench was along here. And the spillway was over here where the ground was all dug up and off. If you've all been down there, you saw that. So, any questions on this? No, we're good.
Well, good. You're making progress. That's good.
Okay.
It's not an easy project. It has to be done in stages. You have to get the plans, you have to get the approvals through all the conservation and all of that, so that's good.
Okay, so one of the things that has come up is the fees down there for the parking fees are like $15, I think they are? $20. Chief? Okay. So anyways, they're antiquated, and so we've decided this has been a long project. We've decided to put a vote to it tonight. So if I can get a motion to raise the fee for the parking down there, for the illegal parking or parking.
I have a motion that we move and take the parking violation fees from $15 now to a $50 fine.
Folks, listen, wait a minute, Mike, hang on a minute. If you folks would please not do that. This is a public meeting. It's a business meeting. We're trying to do things in a professional, measured way. We want to get to solutions, and, clapping and cheering and that kind of thing, it really takes away from what we're trying to do. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that. I understand that these things are very important to people, and we understand that entirely. We understand the enthusiasm when things happen, but it really disrupts the meeting terribly, and it's really not appropriate in this setting. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that. Thank you.
So I have a motion and a second. I'd like to ask not only the selectmen, but the police chief, the deputy chief, if they have comments, if they think that fee's reasonable. Do you think another fee? I mean, we just put it out on the floor, and we just want to get their input, because they're the ones issuing the tickets, so they're extremely important when it comes to this. So.
So Chief, do you have any, or Assistant Chief?
So again, the parking fees are assessed by the Parks Commissioners, the ACTA. We feel that's reasonable. You know, we can always revisit it if it's not working, like we think it's going to work. But I think $50 is a good amount. You know, to kind of curtail some of the people that are going down there, parking $50, get a parking ticket, and hang out.
Okay. Anybody from the board have any comments?
No, I feel like $15 to park at the beach is a deal. Why, you know, why would, I don't think that would deter anybody. So I think $50 at least to try to rein things in a little bit.
So Mike, are you taking public comments on this?
One or two if
anybody has a comment, if you could come on up to the microphone, please, and just tell us who you are so we have it on our minutes.
Cheryl Howard, 42 Second Ave.
Thank you.
Thank you. When will this go into effect? This weekend?
As soon as we vote on it.
Right now, okay. And can I address Chief and Deputy?
Can she address the chief?
About what?
Are we going to enforce it completely?
Oh, I think we're going to get to that later.
Okay.
So just so you folks know.
It was on the thing, so
Yeah, just so you folks know, this is a joint meeting with the Parks Commission,
Yeah.
and so that's why we're starting this way. The Parks Commission is updating us. The police also have some things to say about enforcement.
Awesome.
So we'll deal with that as soon as we get past this part of it. Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else in regards to the fee?
Mike?
Yep, right here. Just tell us who you are.
Hi, Margie Pujalt. I live on 9th Ave. My question is to raising the fee. It's all well and good. And as we were just talking about, you know, the police will have something to say about that. And my concern is the amount of tickets. How are they going to be done? Is it going to be color coordinated for the weekends? Things like that. It needs to be planned out. Because people are going to change the date and use the same one all the time. So, I mean, how is it going to be enforced? Who's going to collect the money on that day? Do they go to the police station, which is in our own bylaws? It says that the police will give out the parking passes. Those are questions that I have concerning the beach. So, well and good to say these passes are good and charge them $50. But is it going to be done by our own bylaws? By going to the police station, getting your pass, and that way you'll know, and the police will know, whatever color it may be on that day. Oh, someone's got a yellow, they didn't pay today.
Okay, let me, the chief has something to say about that.
It's a misunderstanding. What the board is proposing is to increase the parking fees, not the parking tickets to go to the beach. Is the vehicles parked illegally. Instead of us tagging for $15, we're going to give them a traffic violation for $50. We're not collecting any money. We're giving them a parking ticket, and they got to come down here at town hall, pay the fines, and then we'll go through the process. You know, as we start digging through some of the stuff, a lot of things that have been kind of left by the wayside. People not doing processing different things. So we'll get to that when we do our presentation. But the parking tickets, so what's on the floor now is increasing the parking tickets.
Okay.
Not the color coordinated things. That's
all well and good.
Ma'am. I don't want you to have a debate with the police chief there. If you will ask us questions, I'm sorry?
Don't whistle out.
I'm trying to get your attention. If you would please, thank you. Have a seat. Yep, thank you. All right. Yes, sir. On the parking fees, or parking tickets, rather?
My name is Eusebio Oliveira, 2 8th Ave. Along with the parking fees, is there any way that you can enact a $50 ticket and all cars will be towed if they're not?
Well, we're going to have, the police are going to give us a presentation on enforcement, so that's probably something you should save for when they talk about that, unless Chief has an answer for it now.
Again, the beach, the responsibility of the beach falls with the Parks Commissioners. If they want to post, violators will be towed at one's expense. That's up to the board, not up to the police. We'll just enforce whatever's put up there on a sign. If they want to do that, that's on them.
Okay, thank you. So,
Yeah, this is going to be, the $50 is a parking violation fee. Like if you parked on the side of the road during the winter and you get your car towed, right now it's $15. For the beach, it's going to be $50. So if you park, you don't have, you're out of town, you don't have your town stick or whatever, the police come through and do their diligence on patrolling and policing the beach, they're going to give you a $50 parking violation fee, which is going to go on your license or whose ever license.
If the plate is registered to a town residence, there's not going to be any fees, fines.
Excuse me. Yes. Again, they're also parking illegally because they have to get a sticker. If there's no sticker on their vehicles, they are still illegal.
Yep.
Let's pick that up.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But the board voted on a program, and I had went over it with the board on residents. They could pick up a paper at the town hall or a parking attendant, which we haven't been able to get. We had voted on it to allow non-resident, non-taxpayers to get a piece of paper. It's been in the office for the selectmen even before I knew it. It's a non-resident.
No, there's no non-resident.
Taxpayer.
Then you can get.
Yes.
If you come to me, I take a look at your license, I see that you're.
That's what I'm talking about.
Paper, I print it on the computer, and then what I do is I tell you to put on the dash of your car. If it gets wet or ruined, you can come back in here again, show me identification. That's what I've been doing for residents.
So we have proof the person came to you.
They give you their license.
If we're coming to the parking lot and I'm running plates, and there's a Halifax resident there that doesn't have a parking in his vehicle, he or she will also get a $50 parking ticket. That's what we need,
Right.
enforce the laws, right down the line.
No, but but what I'm saying is the current, what it was up to this point was advertised as a recycling sticker. If you had a recycling sticker, no questions asked, you walk by, there's a sticker. So the recycling has gone up. People have alternative recycling. So that's why we implemented that. If you can get the pass, and that's why the conversation should be enlarged on that area, Chief. I apologize if
okay.
if I haven't related.
Mike, can
to
we,
that.
can we move on? I think you folks have to
Okay.
vote on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tom?
Oh, this is the $50 fee, I'm sorry.
Correct.
I'd like to take a vote now for the $50. I'd like to take a vote now with the park commissioners for a $50 parking violation fee. If the police are going through, Mike, they're checking registrations and stuff, and they don't have the proper, they haven't paid or whatever. I'd like to take a motion and make a vote of $50 violation parking fee at all park-related properties.
That's not just
Under the commission, yeah. Route 36, the ramps on 36, Route 58, State Boat Ramp, okay?
No.
Two boat ramp.
No.
Okay, State Boat Ramp, you go. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Okay, so that'll go into effect now. All right, so you want to move on with the rest of your presentation?
So Tom is, he's the guy, he's the boots on the ground down there. We put some pictures together that we like to show, the activities we've been finding down there that need to be addressed in some form or another.
Okay.
So Tom,
So we've had some problems down the beach, obviously. We've had a couple of times the portable restrooms have been knocked over.
You're going the wrong way, Mike. You need to go the other way. There you go.
let me get to the front, sorry.
Okay, right there.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the trash that Mike has picked up at the beach. A lot of household trash. There's 2 dumpsters there, and it seems like a lot of people are using it for their old household trash. Other people have been Yeah, you can see the trash there is kind of pulled up. Those 2 totes are dumped twice a week, or supposed to be dumped twice a week, at least once a week. Those are the bags we have to pick up ourselves because the company won't pick those up on their own. They don't get out of the truck, they just pick up those barrels, dump them in their truck and take off. Also, I've had a couple of problems with the porta potties. One porta potty got knocked over twice now. You can see it's tipped over. We've bolted it down twice now. The next thing to do is if it gets disturbed, see it's back one, Mike, back one. Yeah, that platform, that cement platform you see there is the original 2 bathrooms that were there back in the early 60s. And there's a septic tank, leaching field, down the hill towards the parking lot. Okay, down the hill coming towards you. Okay, so it does get full, that porta potty does get full, so it's well in range of the 100-foot mark of the water. It's like 125 feet we marked out. So it's well in range of the, if any problems there. But it has been used quite a lot, but I don't appreciate seeing this and getting it flipped over, tipped over and stuff. Okay, so the next thing to do is, if that porta potty gets knocked over again, we'll meet with the Board of Health and we'll either have it removed, or maybe I can have it chained to the fence in the parking lot under the solar light. That's what we're thinking of next. We had an issue, the police came down to me and a little visit the other day. The beach was locked. We have a locking process at the beach. This is not our lock. That is not one of our locks. So I had to get the police department, the fire department down to cut that lock off. And they were down quite quickly to do it. So I don't know whose lock that was, but we really don't appreciate that. I know we have been lax on locking the gate, opening the gate and stuff, but we really didn't appreciate that. That was kind of a hindrance for the day, but it's done and over with, but we're going to move on. Yeah, there's some bolts there and stuff, so, but that's about it from my side. Beautiful water. Okay.
Yeah, this here is one of the tools the commission is looking at on additional enforcement down there on the beach property for vehicles or, you know, the rules that have been made up and they're being violated, to allow to be able to also ticket them as well by the board or who the board, who the commission or who the commission authorizes to ticket down on the beach to help try to discourage some, you know, some of the rules being broken down there. So that's something we're now looking into, trying to move along. These are the buoys all put in. It was a pretty nice day putting them in. These are notices that were posted up, 2 different languages. Those are still down there after a few weeks. This is what we put up, what the commission had voted on to try to rein in some of the parking, some of the rules changes to allow residents, taxpayer residents and non-taxpayer residents, whether they're recycling or they're not recycling, that would at least give them a pass, because you're a taxpayer in town, so you shouldn't, I mean, if you issued a ticket, you go down to the town and you're a taxpayer, then the commission will coordinate that with the police, as we just had it back and forth. I guess there was some, what would you call these, Tom?
There's some chitter back and forth on Facebook and other means of the way the beach looked the previous weekend and stuff. You know, just some talk about, you know, how the beach looked, and we need to be more due diligence about, you know, parkings and the locks and whatnot. I also want to say that we have also The police department has also very nicely put the no-wake zones in for us, 300 feet out. There's 2 big buoys out there. We don't have a picture right now, but there's 2 big buoys out there, no wake. So hopefully that will deter speeders coming through too close to the swim zone there. And we're also in the process of getting 2 more no-wake zones, and we'll go over towards the Route 58 boat ramp, 300 feet out there also. So that's about what we're up to, Mr. Chairman.
So, do you provide trash cans at the beach?
Yes.
So, is there any, it seems to me that what you could do is adopt a rule that they do in most federal and state parks, is carry in, carry out. I think if you do away with the trash cans and put posting up there that says carry in, carry out, then it will do away with some of this. And the second thing, that it's on our agenda, and I forgot to talk about it before, but I had thought that we probably need in town some sort of anti-littering bylaw anyway, which would at least, to the extent that it does provide some measure of control, enforcement and all is a different issue. We'll talk to the police department, but I think if maybe, I had suggested this to Cody before, and maybe we can, before the next meeting or so, get together on some sort of proposal, at least before October, because it would have to be a bylaw adopted by the town and to do some sort of anti-littering type of thing, which I think would make, again, it isn't going to solve the problem, but at least it looks like we're serious about what's going on. So that and doing away with the trash cans probably will save you a whole lot of headaches, frankly.
Yeah, quite a few people have asked me about removing the trash cans. I just have a bad feeling and a good feeling about it. I think people are going to just leave their trash. I mean, now at least they're packing up their trash and putting it next to the dumpsters. I'm just afraid that if I do a carry-on, carry-out trash, they're not going to abide by it.
It works in the state parks and the federal court and federal parks. So, I mean, it might be something. Just, I would ask you to consider it.
We can consider it.
Hold on a second. Okay, have you finished your presentation?
Almost. I want to say thank you for all the departments for helping out down there. I know the police have been putting a lot of hours down there. Deputy Chief Ted Benner has been very proactive in trying to address the issue. I know board members have gone down to the beach and looked at it too. Thank you for, going down there and looking at all this stuff. I know that we couldn't get a parking attendant. It was on last year's ATM to have a parking attendant. We weren't able to fill that position up to this point. We're going to keep trying if we can. The pay, I think, jumps to like 18 change come July 1st. So, it stays at 17? Okay. So it's still, 17 change is still a good wage. So hopefully we'll get somebody that wants to volunteer to do that and get paid at the same time, hanging out at the beach all day. We try to get 2 details in with what monies we have in that account. Everybody's so stressed out in all these departments, short-handed. We couldn't fill them this weekend. We're going to try one more time, maybe this weekend, if we can fill them. We got the 4th of July event, so that's going to consume a lot of bodies, so we'll be lucky to get somebody out there, maybe even Sunday. The fire department was put on a detail. They went out with their boat, and it had a problem, so I'm glad that it broke on a detail rather than going in and trying to rescue somebody and it broke. So it actually, I think it worked out fantastic, finding out now. So we're going to try that again this weekend. So other than that, I'm good with this.
Okay, thank you. So remember, we're going to have the police give a presentation on enforcement. So if you have a question on enforcement, hold on to it. I think Mr. Massio had a question, so if you want to just direct it to the commission here.
Yes, it's David Massio, 16 10th Ave. I spoke with Deputy Chief Benner on, I think it was Tuesday last week, and he said one of the things you guys were lacking was possibly rigging for the buoys. So I wanted to offer from Tyler Equipment and Podersky Welding, we're directly behind the police station. If you guys need any rigging or anything to submerge, to hold in the buoys of any type, we're offering our services, whatever you need, free of charge.
Thank you.
To help the town.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Great, thank you.
I'll reach out to you. Thank you. One more.
Charlotte Howell, 42 Second Ave. My question is in regards to a rumor that I heard. So was the EPA, the environmental police, directing the jet skiers from the public boat ramp to come and launch their jet skis over at Port?
I have no idea on that. I haven't heard of that.
Is there any way that we can investigate that and find out?
So you're saying that the environmental police were telling people to go to state boat ramp over to the town beach?
So that's a concern.
Okay. So that's a tough problem we have.
Yeah.
People launch from the state boat ramp, okay, and then they come over to the sand, okay? We can't tell these people to leave, okay? It's just like if somebody went over to the playground from Bridgewater, I can't tell them to leave. Once they're in the parking lot, I can give them a ticket, okay? That's about all we can do.
Okay, can we talk to the environmental police? 'Cause
I can give them a call on my speed dial.
Hold on a second, I think that, let's have the police give their presentation, okay? Because I think some of these questions will be addressed.
One more thing. So the
Yeah, if
trash
it's
cans-
not enforcement, if it's something else.
It's not, it's about trash. So we have rats anyways, because, you know, we have stores and all that. The trash cans are causing problems. I don't know what the solution is, but it's disgusting.
Okay, so we did talk about that with the board here just a minute ago about carry on, carry off.
Right.
So I will be talking to recycling, and I'll probably have those trash cans moved away this week.
Or we could have,
And it'll be posted that you carry on, carry off your trash.
yeah, or we could ask if we could use the town, if somebody, whoever, wants to take the trash that's left out and haul it over here to the trash bin that's in the back.
That would be us. That would be us who does that.
Yeah, that'd be the Parks Commission, so.
My other concern...
Can I respond to that one before you? I
Yeah.
thought that was the last one, sorry.
No.
Okay, the commission has to meet on that to see if we're going to go move forward with it, so we're going to take input from that between now and our next meeting to decide whether to take them out or not. But right now, it looks like they missed a couple pickups, so yeah, it was a problem. So now they're all been aware of it, the highway, recycling, everybody's now aware of it to try to keep those out of there, get them dumped quick before that even becomes an issue, so.
Correct. So the other thing, so what about the illegal use of charcoals? Now, you have that posted there.
Yeah, we have that posted.
Why don't, let me, I don't want to interrupt too much, but why don't you sit down and let me have the police come up and give us their presentation, and I think that'll probably address a lot of these questions. So just hold your questions. Let's hear from Deputy Chief Benner, and then we'll follow up with it afterwards. Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, everyone. I appreciate you guys giving us the time to do this presentation. Deputy Benner has worked tirelessly on it. It should answer most of the questions, most of the complaints that the residents have. And then if we don't hit on any points, then please feel free to make comments or ask questions. And we're doing the best we can out there with limited resources. We understand all the frustrations that a lot of the residents have. In trying to do some research for this presentation, we found some things in our own bylaws that are lacking, that need to be adjusted and revisited. We've enlisted the help of environmental police, the Office of Fisheries and Boating, bunch of other state agencies to kind of help us with this problem. This is not a Halifax problem. This is a problem in all towns with boat access and lake access and water access. So it's hopefully we'll present our points, and then if anybody has any comments or questions, they can feel free to ask.
Caesar was in the back there somewhere.
All set, Ted.
Nope, there you go. You got it. Yep, nice work. Thank you.
John.
Yeah.
All set.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to go about this in 3 sections. We're going to work on the Home Street area, the state boat ramp on Montponset Street, and then last, with the most concerns, we'll go over to the Lincoln Street boat ramp. First one we're going to do is the Area 58, what's called the state boat ramp. So that's run by the state, and it's run by the Fish and Boating Access Department. So they have jurisdiction over that boat ramp. So technically, the only thing that that boat ramp is supposed to be used for is launching and retrieving any watercraft that you're trailering or in the back of your car. So that has 22 spots and 10 car spots. So technically, by the state CMRs, if there's any vehicles down there that we found out that don't have a trailer attached to it, or if they're not being used to put a kayak in the water, can actually be cited through the state. We're just finding out all this information. The usage, again, it can be used by anyone. If the spots are full and someone wants to go down there, drop their boat in, and park somewhere else, they can absolutely, absolutely do that. What we are going to be doing for enforcement, because a lot of people down at that ramp don't understand the intended use for that, is just for putting your boat in and taking it out. We're going to be putting some warnings on the cars down there, and then there is a $50 fine that's through the state that we can fine these individuals to the environmental police, or the Halifax police can start issuing those citations down there. As far as traffic goes, when it's backing up onto Montponset Street, because we've heard that complaint a lot, if you guys are seeing that happen, please call us, because we can go down there, because it's a traffic hazard, and get those vehicles and trailers out of the road. Again, with that dock, it's only supposed to be attended for putting your boats in and taking off out of there. You're not supposed to be coming back and forth. That's another CMR that we're going to be working with the environmental police if we see people coming back and forth to there, just not for the intended use, to try to do some enforcement with that. The Home Street Beach area. The signage down there, as you can see, there's one sign that's down behind a telephone pole. I was down there a few days ago, family pulled in, parked there, no sticker on their car or anything else. They had absolutely no clue. I don't think anyone would see that sign and know that that was just for Halifax residents. So again, so this comes back to the Park Commission, and with that fee, if you don't have a sticker, Halifax resident sticker, or one of those plackets on your vehicle, could be cited the $50 fee. Okay, Lincoln Street. The usage is up down there. In 18 years, this is the busiest that I've seen it in a long, long time. This was Father's Day. A lot of people down there. The signs down there are a little bit confusing. We do know now, obviously, by having this meeting, that if individuals want a one-day pass, we direct them down to the Selectmen's office and they can buy a one-day pass. What everyone understands is that non-residents are allowed to buy a one-day pass for that beach parking lot. And I believe that you guys put in there was a ratio of how many?
5 to 10.
5 to 10.
But it's conditional on getting a parking attendant.
Okay.
Unless, we can take time off on weekends and do that as well.
I believe there's a little bit of confusion too of what the police can actually enforce down there. I can tell you right now, the police department does not have any sort of citation for a charcoal grill. I don't know, Chief, if you want to just let the chief explain about the grills for a second.
Chief Witham's here.
Oh, Chief, yep.
Hey, Mike Williams, Fire Chief. As of right now, looking at the bylaws, what the Recreation Commission has. Each town is different. We have law states that they can't have charcoal down there, and so we can go by that. As far as violation or anything, we can impose it on that person. we can, which is usually like $20. Where it's going to go from there, if they don't pay it, it will go into the town and then kind of go from there. The issue that we have, obviously, if somebody has charcoal, it has to be clearly posted, and they have to fully understand that in order for us to cite the violation. So if they speak a different language or anything like that, and they don't understand the laws themselves, then it's very difficult to enforce. So most of these signs are not when you drive in, when you drive out.
Right,
so they have to be posted a little bit better so that we can enforce these things. And
so when you see, when you're walking down the beach, everyone that's been down there, the sign's actually pointing the wrong way. So when you're walking to the beach, you can't see that there's no charcoal grills there. If you turn around and look at the sign, that's where the actual sign is. So again, it comes back to a little bit of changing the signage. Okay, violations for parking. We made a big step by obviously increasing that fee from $15 to $50 tonight. People were just taking the tickets. They were taking the citations and just paying the $15 for them. Now what happens if you get a citation? That citation gets turned in over to the town hall. If it's not paid within 21 days, that citation gets mailed to the deputy tax collector, and then the deputy tax collector tries to get the money. If they can't get the money for the $15 parking ticket, then your registration or your license, actually registration becomes a non-renew status. So if you to go renew your registration, you'd have to pay that $15 fee before you'd be able to renew your car registration. Now it's 50, correct. Okay, for private parking. Okay, everyone knows the area down where the bogs are off of Lincoln Street. The police has no authority to tow any vehicles off of private property. The property owner has to have it clearly posted, and the property owner contacts a private tow company, and the private tow company can remove those vehicles that are parked there illegally if they choose so. Across the street from where the boat ramp is, obviously that will be under the umbrella now, if everyone's parking over there, of the $50 fine. 4th Ave. 4th Ave, can't remember off the top of my head, was adopted as a public road in 1964. So what that means, that is a public way. Anyone has access to a public way. Individuals can drive down there. They can turn around down there. We understand that we've been getting complaints that there are individuals blocking the ramp down there. They can't do that. It's a public way. It's a road. If they are blocking that down there, we can go down there and remove those vehicles. Getting out to enforcement out on the lake. Whoever designed that, I don't know who did, but put the boat ramp right next to the swim area, it's an issue. Clearly. Any sort of watercraft or boat that's coming in there, from where those buoys are supposed to go headway speed, which is under 6 miles an hour, no wake, up into that area. They're allowed up there, but again, headway speed, slow, 6 miles an hour up to there. I know that Mr. Gillespie has had some videos of them blowing right past those buoys. We've seen them. I've also had videos that I've sent to the chief of when we're down there, when we did initially put those buoys in, some people are following the rules with that. So I don't know what the right answer is for that. We can't have someone down there 24 hours a day. We will be doing some joint patrols, several of them, in the near future with the environmental police. We're not going to announce those times that we're going out there or the dates. We're going to go out there and do some saturation patrols, and hopefully that will clear up some of the violations that we are seeing out there. Bylaw changes. It seems like everything in Halifax always comes back to bylaw changes. There are bylaws that are a little bit confusing. We found in our bylaw today with the public consumption of alcohol that there's basically no enforcement penalty in it. You have to go to a different part of the bylaw to interpret what the actual penalty is. If you go to a bunch of other towns, their bylaws, it clearly states what they can actually do if they come across an individual that has an open container of alcohol when they're in public. But that's another thing that we'll have to look at a further point in time. Now the big questions.
Hold on a minute.
We want questions. So as far as the bylaws, we have no authority, and I will direct my officers to go up to someone and say, "Can you open up your pool office to listen?" It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. If somebody's making and walking around with a koozie, okay, they made the effort of hiding that open container. You and I both. That could be beer, that could be apple juice. My officers are not going to be asking that because we're going to be up in federal court costing the town millions of dollars. So just clear that up. We're not going to be, because I'm sure that if you were at the beach having a picnic, you wouldn't want one of the officers to come up to you, please open your pool up, I inspect your pool. So that being said, also as far as there was a lot of comments that officers had gone down there and not issued parking tickets or not done the enforcement. So for the boat ramp, since May 22nd, we've had 33 calls for service there. Okay, at the 4th Avenue Beach, since May 22nd, we've had 37 calls for service there. Out of those 37 calls, variety of calls, traffic issues, speaking with complaints, we've issued 33 parking tickets, okay? So now since the board increased it to $50, just do the math. Over $1,000 that we're collecting in fees to help out the town. Good. So I think it's going to go a long way to settle some of the issues on it. And then the Home Street boat ramp, we had some calls for service there, just recent calls. I have all the call logs here. If anybody wants to question these call logs, I think a lot of people have made comments. Basically, just interpreting some of what's been going on there for calls for service. So if anybody has any issues with that, my office is open. Come by, visit, we'll have a sit down. We have videos that we can show people of what actually happened at some of these calls for service. I don't appreciate somebody making comments that's basically telling us that we're not doing our job. Well, that person was never behaving in sort of behavior that they claim that they did. So we'll leave it at that.
This is still a Board of Selectmen meeting, so we'll do it this way. I'm going to start with anyone who hasn't spoken, so I think you have not yet. If you'd like to tell us, make your comments.
Richard Holmes, 25 13th Ave. I'm just curious on, well, of course, we're all appalled what happens down there, and we go down there during the nights and clean up the trash off the beach, even with the trash barrels there. And it's just becoming a mess. It's becoming a hazard. Just even like kid fishing down on the 10th Ave beach, on the private beach. The jet skis still go real close to the shore. There's no consideration. My question is, what would it take and how would we do it to make a Halifax resident-only beach, and if it's possible?
That's a good question. I don't think it is.
That's one of the questions that I heard when visiting down the beach, and that's certainly something we can take a look at.
Like,
I couldn't answer that question. We can ask town council maybe that.
Yeah, I was like told, and so from the answers that I've gotten already, it's up to the town and the town board.
It would be, if anything, it would probably be a bylaw change, so we would have to get that through town meeting, but we can look into it and see.
It's just, again, it goes back to an enforcement issue. How do you know if everyone's a resident down there if they're on the beach? If they park somewhere else?
If we make 4th Ave a Halifax resident beach only, it'll take 95% of our problems.
Okay.
So how do we get started immediately? Do you need a
Well,
petition?
we don't have the authority to do that, just like that, no. So we will take a look at it. We'll have town council review it and tell us how to go about doing it. It'll probably be a type of thing that would have to be voted at town meeting. If we had the authority to do it, we would, but I don't think we do.
We don't know if legislature will allow us to even do that, but we will look into it. We'll talk to our legislatures as well as I know Cody contacts them often than anybody.
Yeah, we just don't want to throw them to the wayside, like, you know what I mean? Like,
We have to follow the law. So.
I mean.
Thank you. Okay. In the back over here, yeah.
Hi, Steve McFawn, 47 Indian Path Road. Just two quick questions. One, I know from growing up in town, we had a boat from Armin's. Is that still seaworthy and used? Or?
We, in 1995...
Was it that long ago?
Yes, because I was on the board then, and we did have a Halifax Navy for a while. The boat, the original boat was a donated boat from Armin's Power Supply.
I remember that.
And that boat lasted a while, and then it was replaced. I don't know what happened since then. The other part of that you have to keep in mind is if we're going to man the boat, we're going to have to figure out how to do that. And it's a police function, so anyone here who's a member of a union understands that if we change a job, we're going to have to negotiate with the union. So we're going to have to do that to properly staff it, and that brings up the question of, you know, back then, we were able to hire permanent intermittents, part-timers, essentially.
Right.
So we would have to negotiate all that with the union. So you're talking about the cost of the boat, whatever that is, the cost of the equipment, cost of training. Obviously, we can't do it this year.
Okay, and understood. My other question is, will there be any enforcement if cars should decide to just start parking all down Lincoln Street on both sides?
Well,
So, obviously, if it's blocking any sort of emergency vehicles, then we have an issue with that. Tried to explain this to us before. There are no parking signs down there. The individual that's parked at that no parking sign would receive a citation for that. As far as parking down other streets, if it's not a traffic hazard,
Then it's public way.
it's a public.
All right, well, I'd like to thank you guys for everything you've done so far as well. Thank you.
okay, thank you. In the back there, yep. Like I say, I want to give everybody an opportunity to speak before we go back.
Jim Sweeney on 9/3 Ave. You stated that the state boat ramp have been told that they can only launch their boats and leave. They can't be in there and back and forth and hanging out there. Can't we do that with the 4th Ave beach? Some days I go down there, there's so many jet skis, there's like 30 or 40 feet of frontage there, and then I'm directly abutting that. They're all in my backyard.
So I believe that would be another bylaw change, because it would have to be specialty for that area right there. Because there's nothing that we have in our bylaws right now saying that they can't pull up to that beach right there.
So it's a matter of changing bylaws?
Sounds like it, which is, again, something else we'll put on our agenda to look at. Again, the bylaws can be changed at town meeting.
I understand that, but that's something we can look into?
We certainly can,
Sure,
yes,
we definitely
absolutely.
should, because that's, to me, that'll solve the safety issue. They're flying in and out of there. Seriously, some days there's 12, 13, 14 jet skis in that small area.
Okay, good. I think in the back here.
I live at 35 8th Avenue. I just have a few questions in regards to the neighborhood parking. Our streets are very narrow as it is, and we've already had a headache dealing with Hanula. What if we implement a residential parking only for our area to avoid a cluster? Because it's even hard if someone's parking like a few cars on the side of the road to have one car get by, never mind two. It's a little too cramped down there, and I know it's going to be even more expensive to widen the roads. I don't think it would be a terrible idea to implement a residential parking only.
We can look into it. I don't know, the police have an opinion about that?
Chief and I were just speaking right now. Again, that would be a bylaw change. But again, if you're having a barbecue that day and there's people parked out,
I actually have a solution for that.
well, you'd have to have non-resident parking zones.
Well, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Like, remember our cook fire laws? You had to call for a cook fire. If you're having a party, why can't you just call and say, I'm going to have an influx of cars causing a little bit of a traffic jam. They will be gone by X amount of time.
Yeah, too much gray.
That could be something that could be a potential.
We're making a list. We'll make a list. It's another thing to take into account, and we'll have to vet that and see how that all works, if it's possible to do. I don't know, what the ins and outs are on that. I know if you're going to make it resident, like Chief Benner says, if you're going to make it residential, then it's going to be tough if your uncle wants to come and visit, right? So we can look into it. We will.
All right, I also have another little idea. What if, have we even talked to Hanula or Morse Brothers about their property? Because there's been people parking on their property and going all the way down to our baseball field and parking and then taking a boat and going to either the state ramp or to the beach. Can we talk to them about maybe locking their gates to prevent people from going down there and like parking?
I don't, it's the first I've heard of that.
On the property owner has to take the initiative of notifying us. Maybe they don't care that vehicles go down their property.
Well, they should, because it's like banned down there.
You're right, they should, but maybe they don't really care about vehicles using their property.
But they do, because there's no access to the public down there anymore due to the fact that it was being vandalized so much. So they do care. So I think maybe that's a conversation that you guys should have with Hanula about maybe getting them to lock their gates.
Okay. I think that's we'll see what they want to do. If they want to do something like that, then the police will enforce it. If not, nothing we can do
I know
about
they already have no trespassing signs on the bog across the street from my house, but maybe they need to update their signs and bring them down so they're not so high. Because right now they're high enough where you have to look up to see them. But we could, I think, updating signage, make it easier to read. If some of the people that are coming to our beach are not predominantly English speaking, we can easily just get a little QR sticker to put on our signs and have the rules and regulations be popped up right on their phone.
Okay.
So,
I think the Parks Commissioner is working on that, so hopefully they'll be able to get that done.
All right,
Thank you. Mr. Gillespie.
Jeremy Gillespie, 9 Ridgeview. Does anybody know what time the 4th Ave Beach is supposed to close every day? Parks? Anybody know?
Well, during the summer, generally, that's a hard question to really answer, because I go down there and at 8 in the morning, I see a nice old couple walking down there and they're sitting enjoying the beach. They park their cars there. They're from the other side of town. I don't know. But to have the gate locked all day, because right now is not our current policy to allow it.
Well, that wasn't the question that I asked. The question I asked was what time is that parking area supposed to close?
It's not.
Because most parks have a closing time. Horton Park has a closing time.
We're not closing that gate currently. It's the same thing we had with Richmond Park. We had it closed all the time. Nobody could use it. So
My suggestion would be to have a closing time.
Well, wait a minute.
the beach area is a park.
Yeah.
Also, in addition to a beach. So our thoughts are on this right now. Currently, it stays open for anybody to use it. That they'll any town resident.
Well, what I've been seeing is people staying there way too late.
So I think you're asking them to come up with some hours. They're in charge of the parks. The commission is. They'll have to think about that, and they can make that rule.
I mean, I think it's
Entirely
reasonable
up
to
to
close
them.
the parks at a reasonable time so we don't have jet skis out there. And honestly, you can't force the jet skis to leave the water. You can force them to stay within 5 foot of the high water mark and get off the beach, because we're having a lot of people stay out there way too late, jet skis, driving after dark.
Again, this is a
These
Parks
three rules.
Commission, they make the rules on that, so they'll take it under advisement and do what they can on it. I don't.
My
that's up to
suggestion
them.
would be start enforcing the rules. You can make all the rules you want. You can build the nicest parks you want. If you don't have the infrastructure there to deal with the problems that are coming to us, it's going to get worse. So start enforcing the rules. It's called home rule. We have the authority to make rules, to enforce them. Start doing it.
All right. Over here.
Hey guys, John Schmalin, 32 Indian Path Road. Just wanted to follow up on an answer before. They said that a lot of this stuff would require a bylaw change. I was looking through the bylaws today, and it looks like there is one in place, 62-6. Basically, if the police chief or officer assigned to the lake believes the safety and or property or overuse of the area becomes a danger, immediate action can be taken place. I won't read the whole thing. I know you guys know where to find all that stuff. So it looks like we do have a bylaw in place that if we think that there's a danger or a safety hazard or even says a disturbance of peace, we could override the bylaws and take immediate action. So I think that might be a good solution to look at as far as working within the framework of the bylaws.
We just kind of interpreted it as a case-by-case scenario, just not an overview of the
I mean, I get to the other comment before too. If we have all this video evidence of the wake laws being broken, I mean, that is a clear safety that we have proof of that we should take immediate action, like the bylaws say.
But again, I think it comes back to just the individual incident, not the whole situation as a whole. But it will be something definitely look into.
Cheryl, yep. Go ahead. All right. Yeah, I wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to speak before we go back, so.
Really just a quick question. You kind of answered, Deputy, you kind of answered the part about that they can use the boat ramp and they can do what they, they can go in and out of the water.
Can you go a little closer to the
Yeah.
mic? Talk right into.
Put it right up to your mouth, Cheryl.
No, the other side, yep. Just come closer to it.
Oh, I can talk right into it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
there
right
you
here.
go.
Now we can hear it. Yep.
So, to start again.
Yep.
So can the jet skis park their jet skis there, 12 and 13 along, the whole boat ramp? Are they allowed to do that?
12 and 13?
Jet skis.
Jet skis?
Just parked. They can just park there and just stay. So if there's an emergency, how do you get in if the boat ramp, if we can't collectively get the boat ramp cleared up? On the other side, the public.
On the public side?
So because we had trouble where people were in your way of, or, getting the other boat out, and they had trouble getting into the public one, they're going to have to use 4th Ave for an emergency entrance into the pond. So if those jet skis are there, they're impeding somebody getting out there to rescue somebody.
Right, so what will probably happen with that is the police monitor the fire. The police usually a little bit quicker. If the fire department's towing a boat down there, it would be just like any sort of med flight or any sort of water rescue.
Clear the area.
Working would go down there and clear that out.
Okay. And then just who would be responsible for boats running through the buoys, going through the actual roped-off area where the children are supposed to be?
Right.
They're driving right on through it. Now, is that only going to be the EPA that takes care of that? Because we can't maintain the pond, right?
It will be a struggle, but we are working on getting these citation books for the lakes from.
Okay, because that's a real danger.
Citations can be only issued on certain procedures, certain books, and we have requested those.
Okay. And my last one, which you've kind of answered about public ways and such, but when there's that no parking sign along either side of the beach, on the right side when you're coming off of 58 or your left side, there's only, one side on the, one or two, whatever it is, on the right side. I'm more concerned about the left side. We have 3 new signs that say no parking. Now, does that mean no parking anywhere on that side, right? Doesn't mean like, here's the sign, but you can park like here, between here and the actual...
We're talking on Ponset Street?
We're Lincoln Street. So right across from 4th Ave, you have the trailer parking. And then right after the trailer parking, there is a gap, like right before that, no parking sign. Is that no parking, the whole part of that woods behind Walmart, is that no parking? It says no parking. Will they get a citation?
Yes. She means between the signs.
Yeah, right across from the beach. It says no parking. But past that a little bit. So where they've added then 3 new signs, are they allowed?
But you can't park in between the signs.
She means between.
I brought that up the other day, and they were allowed to park there. So, and what's the violation for being there? What's a ticket fee for that? Is it $50? 50, okay. I want to tell you how much I appreciate all you, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Mine is actually...
Oop, just come right to the mic, because they won't be able to hear you.
I can't hear it.
Yeah.
My questions or comments are actually a little bit of both for the Parks Commission and the police. About the jet skis all parking at as I haven't seen them. I'm just listening to what they said about them parking by the boat ramp over on 4th Ave, or whatever they call it. That's actually against Massachusetts waterways rules. They can't be parked there. It's section 90B, section 12. So it is a rule that there is no parking at beaches or the ramps. So, I mean, that's, I'm just pointing it out. We might want to look at it a little bit more.
What was the number? What was that number?
The waterways is 90B.
These are all the waterways. Okay.
Yeah. And as for, I'm sorry.
Could you, ma'am, would you address the board? That's better. First of all, the microphone works better that way, and second of all,
thank you.
this is still it's still our meeting, and so you have to ask us, and we will get answers for you.
I understand that.
All right, thank you.
But as for our bylaws, when it comes to it, they are pretty good, truthfully, when it comes to the waterways. But the one thing is about the enforcements and violations. In the fine should have been $50 as stated in our bylaws, which is not a big deal because it's $50 now anyway, that you voted on it. And that the police can remove people from the beach. It's in our own bylaws, and that if you want to read them, it's chapter 62, boat and waterways. So they do have some leeway on when and if they can be involved in what's going on the beach. They may not have a ton, but they have some leeway. It's in Mass General Law.
Ma'am, if I is that question, when you mean the police can remove somebody from the beach, like, what do you mean? What is their behavior at the beach? Why are we removing them from the beach? Are you talking about the jet skis?
Oh, no, just in general. It doesn't...
At the beach, we're going to go up there and just remove them from no reason?
If they're causing a problem, creating a hazard, parking in the wrong place, you can ask them to remove their jet skis, or you can have them remove the jet skis from the water, or a boat. It doesn't have to be a jet ski. So if there's a call that somebody is causing a problem at the beach, the police have the right to be there and get that person off the beach.
We understand.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why I said there's a little bit more leeway going on that you may have that. And I understand you're short-handed. I get that. But there's a little bit more leeway that you probably could do that is not being done, and I know you are looking into it.
The police
I'm
are...
not going to be a devil's advocate. Just put yourself in our shoes.
Sure.
We have a jet ski out on the lake, right? Going crazy.
Yeah.
And you get there as a police officer. Okay, how are you going to signal that jet ski to come back, talk to you? So you're basically going to have to sit there and wait until he comes off the beach to to do some enforcement, right?
That's a possibility, or if you got the numbers on it, you know that he has to get off somewhere, and when he's getting off the state ramp, maybe, I can't answer all your questions, and you can laugh all you want, but however, you do have things...
Ma'am, please. So what we're turning this into a debate,
Okay.
which we don't want
All
to
right,
do.
so my second
So we want to
question-
listen to your concerns.
All right, my
We want to
second
listen to
question
your
is to the,
suggestions. Ma'am, please. We want to listen to your concerns. We want to listen to your suggestions. You give the police or the Parks Commission or the Board of Selectmen or the town the opportunity to
Unfortunately, I
address...
didn't turn this
Please,
into
stop
debate.
interrupting me, please. Would you please hold on? All right. If you want to make a suggestion or a comment, we're willing to hear that. We don't want you to get into a debate with the police chief. If you want to make
I'm
an
sorry, the
appointment
police
to
chief
talk to the
entered that
police...
debate.
Ma'am, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to ask you to sit down, all right? So if you want to make an appointment to talk with the police department about specific enforcement type things, he's very accessible. All you have to do is call up the police station and say, I'd like to talk to the police chief about these specific issues. I think we've heard your issues tonight, so if you have more specific issues, please tell us.
I do. I have some for the Parks Commission. It's really not a concern, it's more of, we've talked about the parking concerns that we all have, and the fees that will be charged. But I think the elephant in the room is not necessarily the parking tickets, but the amount of people on the beach, and how are you going to issue those day passes? Who's going to do those? You can't go to the Board of Selectmen on a Saturday. It's not there. Now, our bylaws says that the police should issue them, which would seem more logical.
If they don't have a day pass or they don't have a sticker, they don't belong on the beach. And
We
so
know
it's
they
up
don't
to
belong on
the...
the beach, but that's not
I
stopping
mean,
them
I'm sorry, they
now,
don't
is
belong
it?
in the parking lot, you're right. So if they don't get it when it's open, they just don't get it. You know, we can't be 24 hours a day service down at the beach to give them a
I'm not
parking
asking you
sticker.
to be, I'm asking how are we going to issue these tickets?
Well, I think Mrs. McSherry explained that someone would make an application to the board's office, and she would issue the placards under the right circumstances, yes. But we're not going to do it on a Saturday, we're not doing it on a Sunday, we don't do it on a Friday.
Well,
If they
then
can
how are
make
we
it here
going to
during
solve the problem if they're not being able
If
to
you
issue
don't
on a
have,
weekend?
yeah, but if you don't have a sticker and you don't have a placard, then you can't park on the, in the parking lot. That's all there is to it.
Okay, that's what's happening now.
Right, and
It's
so
not
if
a
you park
solution.
there, the police will enforce it with the $50 ticket.
Okay, may I make a suggestion?
Okay, so-
If we had a parking attendant down there, that would have helped relieve some of it, and we got no takers.
But Mike, there isn't one down there. May I offer just one suggestion that you guys might want to do?
So, wait a minute, listen, all right, okay, can you please wrap up? If you have another question, please, if you have another question, please
So,
ask.
Mike, I have a suggestion maybe for you guys to figure out, as someone mentioned earlier, to make it just a town beach. Reach out to other towns that have town beach, that issue those parking permits, or maybe some that do not. Maybe the two of you could research it that way, and it might be easier. Don't recreate the wheel. Figure out how they do it, and maybe apply it here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now, you haven't spoken yet, right there with the polo shirt?
Ian Classic, 5 Hillside Ave. My question was, is a $50 ticket, so if they park in the area on Lincoln Street where it's posted, no parking, as well as the area where the trailers park, is it still a $50 ticket for those areas, or is it only a $15 parking violation?
The parks jurisdiction has jurisdiction over the parking crosswalk. The public ways are still the same.
Okay, so public ways, so if they don't park within the beach area, it's still only a $15 ticket.
So if you park in the parking lot at the beach or in that area.
That's 50, but just outside of the fence
And
is
if you
50.
park on 4th Ave legally, or 6th Ave, it's going to be $15. Okay. So I can't,
Well, let's not advertise that.
I wanted to
Let's
clarify that because I wasn't sure, because we were talking about
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Mariah.
I am on 32 4th Ave. So we just moved there not that long ago. So I'm kind of trying to figure out what are the rules for the beach, because there's so, honestly, like, maybe you guys do have to do a cleanup of the signs. There's so many signs to read down there. But a lot of them, like even at the boat ramp, it says Halifax resident permit only for that boat ramp. So if you have all these people coming in on jet skis, how come they're not getting, let me see your light, like why is there no control on that? And I have a summer house on a pond. I had a lot of problems with jet skis. My dad dealt with it all. There's a harbor master. Do we have one that you can call?
We don't have a harbor master, no. Like I said before, well...
Chief Chavs is our harbor master.
Technically, yeah, I suppose we do.
Aye, Captain. Yeah.
We don't have a boat.
We don't have a boat. Okay.
I think we talked about that
we should probably get
maybe
like
20 minutes ago,
dinghy.
that we one time did.
We can get a little dinghy, you know? I mean, it just comes in handy, like, we had to do it at our pond. Maybe we can do it here at like 3 o'clock. It stopped. So jet skis had to get out. Like it was smaller boats could go out, not big motors with big waves and everything, because the problem that you're having is no one's checking to see if they're even Halifax residents, which are posted. It says, I have it on my phone, permit for this ramp. So now they're going down there, they're clearly not from here. Then they're just parking their jet skis, and people who are actually residents, like have boats, and who live there in this town can't even get through. I've just observed from living here in 4 months, like this last month, I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Maybe you guys need to
Well, you're experiencing what everyone here is about. We're trying to work on it. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated problem than one solution, and what we're trying to fix it. So.
I'd like to say one thing on that. We've had parking signs. There's a folder of all the signs we got around town. I got 30-something pictures of all the different signs. We've been working on this map. We're going to lay out where we want all these signs to go in the proper layout. Run it by everybody to see if that's going to do it or not. We haven't been able to get it on. We've had it on the agenda, but we never get to it because these issues have been propping up, and it's hampered us for a couple months now, just trying to settle this part of it. So the signs are on our top priority list.
So is it a public beach?
We got.
It is a public.
It is a public beach. So then why are there signs that say Halifax permit home? Like that's where I'm confused.
For parking.
The parking
is Halifax.
The boat ramp. The boat ramp literally says Halifax boat ramp. I have it on my phone.
Which boat ramp are you talking about?
4th Street. I believe, was
and then
4th?
you have a sign that even says Halifax Beach residents only.
Which boat ramp?
The
4th Ave. It's at the bottom of. I was there today.
Why don't we ask Chief Ben?
Getting down to speak here. So yes, that boat ramp is technically supposed to be for Halifax residents only with these stick. Right there.
So then how are they getting?
Hold on.
But again, 4th Ave.
It's a street.
Is a public way. Anyone can drive down 4th Ave.
So it's a little bit mixed up.
Yeah, it's a public road. That's the tricky part. It's a public street. So we can't tell people not to drive up and down a public street. Still a street.
So we have, why don't we, I think we've heard what your concern is. We'll let the police department give us some suggestions on it. I don't know if the guy behind Mr. Massey, I don't think you've spoken yet, so if you want to have an opportunity before we go back again. Oh,
next.
I thought you had earlier, but if I made a mistake, you're next. You're next, don't worry.
Mark Dillon, 30 Lincoln Street. Just a question about 4th Ave is, does it actually extend the whole way down to the water? And the only reason I ask that is that most of the times those boat ramps are set up for a turnaround.
Yeah.
And if it does go the whole way down, that ramp doesn't have a turnaround. And you see people drive on my lawn every time they do it. They'll pull onto my lawn and then back the whole way down because they can't drive down and turn around. So my question is, and I don't know if it's something that we've ever actually truly looked at, does 4th Ave end before that big circular area? So that would just be a question to maybe look into.
See what Chief Benner has to say about that.
So now I'm really racking my brain right now. The last maps that I looked at, it literally looked like 4th Ave goes down there and almost takes a hard left through the whole entire park. So I don't know if those lines have to be redone.
Fourth Ave. It's no more than Fourth Avenue, we had that earlier. And about 50, 60 feet, there's a 50, about 70 feet back. There's actually a street that goes into the beach area. And then there's another paper street that goes right down the middle of the beach area.
It's a little confusing.
So, I mean, it's...
So, you had a question? Yes. Sorry, I thought you had spoken
That's
earlier.
totally fine. Hi, my name's Amy Sapphire. I'm one of the owners of the 550 Tavern and Lake House. As some of you know, we just completed a pretty extensive renovation of the wedding facility. And I have some different concerns than the residents, and I can feel their pain. But some of the issues that we're having are slightly different with the jet skiers and the noise. So I think one of my questions is for the town. I believe the speed limit's 35 miles an hour on the lake. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so they're clearly exceeding it by probably double. How can you, what is the solution to enforce it? Because the issue we're having is, last Thursday, there were 13 jet skis very close to the shore, our dock. We had a rehearsal going on. I have a mother screaming at the top of her lungs, a bride in tears, because they can't hear each other giving their vows. So I don't know what the solution is. I don't know how to help come up with a solution. I don't know how to change the bylaws, but there is a right of quiet enjoyment as a business owner, as a guest. The restaurant patrons are complaining. They can't hear themselves speak. So I guess I'm asking, because I've never run into this, what can we do to solve the problem? Now, I'll just get everything out because I know everyone's busy, but we are going to post signs so that we actually have some control. We had a gentleman pull up in a 27-foot boat last week. People get off of it, come up on the dock, and walking through our lawn because they're parking on Montponce Street, parking in our parking lots. I can definitely put up signs in tow, but how do I stop them from coming on to our property?
So the issues you're raising are very similar to what everyone else has complained about.
Yeah.
Enforcement on the water itself is, as Chief Chav said, tough if we don't put a boat out there.
Yeah.
If we put a boat out there, and that's something that I suppose we should look at again, but it is an expensive proposition in a bunch of different ways, not only buying the boat, equipping it, training the people, and hiring the appropriate law enforcement people. But it's something that can be done.
Yeah.
As far as the rest of your question about how to handle people trespassing, I would recommend that you make an appointment and speak with the Chief Chase.
We have actually spoken to one of your officers who's been amazing. He's been on our property all weekend.
And they can direct you and the best way to do it. And, I mean, the police department in Halifax is very good.
Yeah.
All the departments are very good. The police department is very good. They are responsive. So, if it's an issue, they will come down there. I mean, obviously, if they're doing something else, they have to wait.
Right.
But they will be there.
They are wonderful and responsive. We've been working with you guys for over a year. That's fantastic, but it's a problem that ideally would be solved. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of towns, and I just started doing research. I live in Sharon. There's a lake there. We don't allow jet skis. Many towns have, and it might not be popular with some of the residents, I don't know. Many towns have just gotten rid of jet skis altogether because you cannot enjoy. I can only imagine how the residents on the lake, how do you sit outside anymore and enjoy your backyard and have a barbecue?
Chief Chavs has a suggestion.
That was what I was actually wanted to comment on. If the town has the appetite for it, go to town meeting and ban jet skis from the waterways, or the towns next to Sharon, Norton, just by the bylaw change, which they outlaw jet skis at 4 o'clock. So at 4 o'clock, those jet skis have to get out of the water. But that's again, it's not just, unfortunately, it's just not just the residents, on the apps that are going to be affected. It's going to be the whole entire town. Instead of a town meeting, because obviously, if I'm a homeowner on the lake and I buy a property on the lake and I want to have a jet ski, I don't know how I'm gonna, accept, oh, you can't use the jet ski, so that doesn't want to, the
Yeah.
client.
No,
I know that the parts of the change on the hours, if the town wants it.
There are
That's
towns that have.
Exactly, we did try that a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I bet you if you talk to some of the people on the other lake that might have motorboats or jet skis or
Yeah.
whatever, they would not be in favor of it. So
Yeah, I
it's a
don't
possibility.
know. There are towns that have banned jet skis for non-residents. You have to be a resident. I know there's a state dock, so there's different issues. I am going to do a whole report for conservation, but there actually are a lot of issues with different endangered species and all of that when you're bringing watercraft on from other towns, from other lakes, invasive species, so that's an issue that's not as important. But I do have a question for the Parks Department. You mentioned that you're having difficulty finding someone to do the parking lot. I'm curious where that's posted, because I have loads of staff that would love to sit down and monitor a parking lot for $17 an hour.
Yes.
I think Mr. Schleich and Mr. Schindler will be giving you a call.
It's posted on the town website. Sometimes we put it on the sign at the fire department.
Okay. I'm going to look for it, because I can send 50 people your way in 24 hours.
The kiosk down there at the entry of the beach area, the parking lot, the kiosk is also on it, a listing of that job posting right there and how to contact. I think Cody is the one that usually ends up with the...
Okay, I'll find
If you
it.
want to have them just even contact the Selectmen's office, and we will make sure they get those people.
Yeah, that should be.
I'm told it ran in the...
Newspaper for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay, I mean,
So we can maybe-
teenagers don't read the newspaper, so if we're looking for, I know my teenager would kill to make $17 an hour to sit there. But,
Okay, are you all set?
So, yeah, I guess I'm curious what the next step is for us to handle this, because we have a lot of people that have paid a lot of money. I mean, their life savings to have a wedding, and I can't actually do a ceremony outside, and that's what they paid for.
Like I said, the police can help you with the trespassing issue.
No, the actual jet skis and the 13 and the donuts and the speeding and the jumping out of the water. And
That's a real problem. All I can tell you is that we hear the problem, and these possible solutions include water enforcement, bylaw changes. None of that happens overnight. I mean, it can be put in the works now, and we can see if we can come up with something.
Can I ask, would a buoy be out of the question? I mean, could they put buoys kind of similar to what we have at the swimming area to try to keep folks a little further away
I mean,
from your property?
But it doesn't sound like it helps.
I mean, I would hope that when people see the buoy, I mean, most common sense folks would say, okay, I can't go this area.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're within their right to put some buoys out to try to keep folks away from your property.
I mean, we're willing to try anything. We did have a fountain, but it's so windy that it blows all the water onto the guests when they're doing their ceremonies, so that wasn't a solution. But we're open to any solutions. We just, there is nothing more heartbreaking than having a bride crying on her wedding day because she can't hear her vows. And we don't know what to say to the clients. It's affecting our business, and we've been open 3 days. I mean, my husband last weekend went down to the dock and was buying them pizzas to try and get them off the water. It sort of worked one day, I don't know. But
And you have private property signs out there, like private dock, private property?
Yeah, we're putting up more.
Okay.
But they don't, I hate to generalize, and I don't mean to sound horrible.
Sure.
They don't listen, they don't care. Last year, we had a problem. We told them they couldn't come on the dock. They sat 20 feet out during a ceremony, whipping around, screaming at the clients, don't do it, don't do it. Like, it's horrible. So
that's a police issue. You can have the police come
But they
down.
can't get on the water, so what are they going to do, sit at the dock waiting for them?
So I will say in a particular instance like that,
Yeah.
obviously it's very simple.
Yeah.
We have the time to, if we would, where there's a ceremony going down there, then we would make every effort that we could to possibly make it stop. So
Yeah.
make the whole general situation stop.
Of course not.
because of jet skis.
Right, yeah.
We could fill up a room with this many people saying that we absolutely love jet skis,
I do too.
To the flip side of it. But in that particular case, they're making direct contact, yelling to individuals, that would almost,
It's disturbing the peace. That's what it is, yeah. And we've started bringing police details on for every single event anyway. Right. So we love working with you guys. I know it's a huge challenge. You're not on the water, so it's very difficult to control what's happening out there. So I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention.
Okay.
We're willing to do whatever we have to, really.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Massio.
Yeah, I'll keep it small.
I've heard that before, Dave.
Appreciate that.
So this is actually for you guys. Thank you. So some of us have spoken about helping you guys and volunteering with the attendant that you need. I can't work on a schedule, basically. I obviously have kids and I have a full-time job, and sometimes we work on emergency. Would love to volunteer, and there's days that I can be there for sitting on the beach and enjoying myself, and also help you guys with the attendant. So I'd be willing, and there was a few of us that spoke about it in a group collaboratively, that we'd be willing to volunteer, or if we can't volunteer, you can fill out the application because of, whatever
I don't know if they could
contingencies, whatever. So we can do that and help you guys organize some of the other things if you don't have the time, because of course, we can't expect you to be there all the time.
We had these discussions over the past, since I've joined the board, that to get in some subcommittees for handling different things. I mean, one of the subcommittees we like is the trail grant. We're trying to get a trail grant and get some new trails in the Halifax. Okay. We're looking at other areas as well to have a committee, a subcommittee, or a group of residents, like the beautification committee.
And this, and Mike, yes, exactly. It's what some of us had spoken about, was possibly having our own little group that we can work a schedule in. All right, hey, I can take, especially like on the weekends, the heavy days. Not so much during the week.
Can I make a suggestion? So the same as the previous speaker, if you folks would, we'd be glad to coordinate it. We're here well, not me, but Cody or Pam are here all the time. So if you folks would just send an email to either Ms. McSherry or to Cody or call the Board of Selectmen.
What, John? I don't know what are you saying?
So it's the same thing. So if you have a group of folks that will be glad to do that kind of thing, let us know. We'll get it to them and set it all up.
Right now, John, and I don't need you to coordinate it. We can coordinate it ourselves amongst residents.
You're missing my point. My point is we're just trying to get this procedurally done. So we can't have you coming up there like as a vigilante type of thing. We still have to follow the rules.
That's not what I said, John. We're volunteering our time.
No, we get
residents that care about the beach in the neighborhood want to volunteer our time. I'm asking Parks.
Yeah.
Because the application is through that, right? For the attendant.
You have to come before Parks.
Okay.
Or volunteer where we have to debate and approve or not approve, or if we see a potential problem. And one of the things that I'm nervous about with it, I want to be honest with you, is some of these emails that are up there. You look at somebody that wants to work down there, and then you see the emails they posted. Do I want that?
I've sent 0 emails, first of all.
So that's kind of...
I understand that. I've sent 0 emails. I applaud...
I'm not saying you, I meant Facebook posts.
Okay.
I'm still back in...
I've watched those closely. If there's anything on there that's mine, please bring it to my attention, but I haven't. I know that. Halifax PD has been incredible. I've seen them down there a number of times. I spend a lot of time at the beach. Okay? And I did ask Deputy Chief Benner about it. He was like, you got to talk to them and ask them that question. Again, my point of this was I can't be on a certain schedule. However, if there was a group of us that were willing to volunteer, we can bring it up to you and however you want to propose it.
All I'm saying is...
But we don't need you to, a bunch of grown men don't need you guys to organize us to take a weekend here, a weekend there. You know what I'm saying?
The only point I'm trying to make is you can try and contact the Parks Commission directly. They're a volunteer. They don't have a secretary or anything like that. If they're looking for a group of people that they can contact to put them in place or whatever, or set up whatever the schedule might be, we're willing to help.
Right, and that's what I brought up here, was because there was a number of us that had said, I can probably do 3 or 4 hours this morning, and then 3 or 4 hours this afternoon, and then so on and so forth, especially holidays. weekends or the busier days, which we have a problem on Tuesdays, and then of course Saturdays and then Sundays.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
I'll talk with you.
That works.
I'll talk with you and we'll come up with maybe a solution. If it works, I'll talk with some of the other residents, and if anybody else wanted to reach out to me and we can collaborate on it, we can go from there.
All right.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am, in the back.
This will be brief. I promise. So, like, for the young woman here that runs 550, I've talked to the Mass Environmental Police. What they need is ID numbers of these reckless boaters. And that's really hard to get, like when you're like on the land and they're in the water. But that's what they need to actually like ticket and like look into these people. And also getting video footage of like excessive speeding. I know that there was an instance not that long ago where a jet skier lost control and the jet ski hit somebody. So like we need that kind of evidence, and I just want to tell everybody in town, you need to get ID numbers or video footage and report it to either the police or the environmental police.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else have?
I want to mention one thing.
Yeah, Mike.
There was an accident in the lake about a month ago around Mother's Day. The boater out in a kayak or a canoe, it flipped over. They didn't have a life jacket on, so when you do go out of the water, the lakes, I've heard a lot of drownings this year, pools and ponds. If you could just keep it in mind and pass it along and help us.
Okay, so I think we've heard everybody. So I think you folks can close your meeting. We still got a few more things to do on the Board of Selectmen's end of things. So I don't know. Tom. Hey, Tom, are you guys done? Yeah. So can you adjourn, and then because we have some things we have to do. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming, and appreciate all the comments. We will take them into concern. All right. So we have a list of appointments to deal with. I think that's. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll take them. I think that's all we have.
Just the appointments here. And then, I want to talk about anti-littering and bylaw and all that. We already talked about it.
Maybe let's put that on the next one. Folks, if you wouldn't mind moving out, because we have some more business to take care of.
There's some lights down.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, right? All right, so I'm going to ask us just to hold off on the anti-littering and prohibition bylaw issue. I do need to come up with some better words for that anyway. It was just a thought. So the only thing left is our reappointments. I'm going to suggest, I can go down and make the motion. We'll do each commission as it's listed, if you, any objections or any holds, and then we can just vote them each as it's going down. Does that work for everybody?
That works. There's quite a few, so that works.
So I'll talk fast. Yeah, there's a lot. All right, so the first one is reappointment Agricultural Commission, Janice Hayward, Sheila O'Handley, 2 years, and Joanne Smith. I'll let you second everything.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Americans with Disability Act, Marlene Amity and Joy Marble.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Beautification, Shirley Graff, Wendy Greco, Christina Palmer, Amy Truth.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Cable TV Advisory Committee, John Chabon, Janice Hayward.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Capital Planning Committee, Michael Zarella.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Conservation Commission, Kimberly King. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
There was some attendance questions.
There was.
For Kimberly on
And
that.
so Cody and I talked about that, so he has an answer for us.
So that was a concern that the commission had brought up in the early part of the calendar year, and the board had a discussion with Kimberly regarding her attendance. Since that discussion, her attendance has been above 70%. So kind of put her on notice. She had some medical reasons why she was unable to make some of those meetings, and since then she has been, I think 70% of the meetings is what the number was.
Okay.
And not to get too sidetracked, but I do think where we're starting to train our boards and committees a little bit more, I don't think we need a hard, fast attendance rule, but I would like to have folks make more meetings than they miss.
Oh.
So I don't know if the board's comfortable with, I don't know. I don't know if it's a policy that you need to make a majority of boards, or what do you think?
I don't know if you need to make a policy. I think we talked about this last year during the appointments, which is why we tried to include a lot of that attendance, because it's something we historically hadn't done. So I think if we just make that a practice of the board, of reviewing the attendance when reappointments are up, and if there's questionable attendance, it can be, there's one other one in here where there's a questionable attendance. It was a conversation I had with the admin, and there's kind of a more valid reason to it. I can present that to the board, and then it's your decision, but I don't know if you need a hard policy per se. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to be on a board or committee, attend more than you
miss, right?
Right. It's not, normally not an issue. I mean, it happens.
No, I understand. There's quite a few here with no attendance issues. I'm just highlighting that there was one here.
Okay, so are we all in on Kimberly King? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Council on Aging, Jean Gallant, Judith
Second.
Ratkus. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Halifax Emergency Management Director, Fire Chief Michael Witham.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Halifax Emergency Management Agency Deputy Director, Police Chief Chaves.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Historian, Susan Basile.
Second.
Nobody better object.
That's it. I know.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Historic District Commission, Jay
Bouchane. How you say that? Yep.
Thank you. And Stephen Corcoran.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Historic Commission, Kevin Shea, Mason Cook, Tyler Nordman.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Holidays in Halifax, Tanya Massa.
Oh, she's a saint. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Information Technology and Communication, Jonathan Seelig. James Walters, Caesar Colarulo, and the Town Administrator.
Second.
Who shall remain nameless. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Licensing Authority Agent, I have one question on this. Officer Haste, is he...
He is technically still with us until later in the month, and later in July.
Okay, so we should appoint him anyway?
Yeah, I would appoint him, and then with his retirement, it'll automatically be rescinded because he won't work for us anymore.
All right, licensing authority agents, Chief Chaves, Deputy Chief Benner, Officer Bonkarowski, I apologize for that, Officer Campbell, Sergeant Caprio, Officer Cushman, Officer DeRue, Officer Feltrip, Officer Hinks, Sergeant McDonald, Officer McIntyre, Sergeant Schleif, and Officer Ryan Simpson.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Municipal and School Building Committee, Scott Greco, Gerald Joy.
Second.
That's it. Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Parking clerk, Linda McCarthy.
Second, sorry.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Police matrons, Janice Hayward, Susan Lawless, Tina Oliveira, and Antoinette Ross.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Special police officers, Jay Gudamoni and Patrick Sterling.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sealer of Weights and Measures, David Moore.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sealer of Weights and Measures, Traffic Enforcement Assistant, Richard Eldridge.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Town Director of County Cooperative Extension Service, Keziah Nezarella.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Veterans Agent, Service Officer and Veterans Burial Agent, Stephen Littlefield.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Veterans Agent Assistants, Sean Goyette, Robert Mullen.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Veterans Services Committee, Steve Littlefield, Sean Goyette, Robert Mullen, R. Stephen Hayward.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Wiring Inspector, Stephen Peterson.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Wiring Inspector Assistant, Dennis McManus.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Youth and Recreation Commission, Kenneth Boudreau, Bruce Pulliam, Tina Kenyon, and Sarah Noble.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Zoning Board of Appeals, Peter Parcellan. I think that's the one that you said.
This one, again, the attendance has improved as of late. My understanding is that there was an issue contacting the individual where we were reaching out to a town email, and this person didn't have access to their town email. Now that they're able to have access, the attendance has improved.
Still 50% since September, 3 out of the last 6.
I believe so, yeah.
Good. It's a fine line because we want people and we appreciate the people, but we want to make sure that they're...
How long has he served on the board?
That will be 5 years. That will be a 5-year term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'll make the motion to appoint Peter Parcellan.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
So passes by majority. All right, I think that covers that. Is that it on our agenda, except for that one anti-littering, which I'm really not prepared to talk about anyway.
The only other thing I forgot to mention is we do have a finance committee opening. So if anyone's interested, they can submit a talent bank form. The finance committee is going to review talent bank forms in the beginning of August. So we've made a post on our website. We'll accept those through July. So if anyone's interested, submit a talent bank form to our office. We'll get those out. And because this is a mid-year appointment, it's filling a term, it's filled jointly by the finance committee and the selectmen. So past practice has been finance committee will have everyone in who submitted a talent bank form, have a conversation with everybody, and then make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen on who they recommend to fill that seat.
We should have one candidate already.
We do. Yep.
Okay.
Somebody waiting? I don't know.
Anything, you here for anything in particular? You just want to be amused? Okay. All right.
Glutton for punishment.
All right, so anything else to come before the board? No? Pam is anxious to go home? Oh, man, I have to sign all those cards.
Yeah, you're going to be busy there, Mr. Chair.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second. So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.